Aquarius, Pisces season. I keep hearing like the word designer. So you're like designer. That's why like you may have more keen insight this month and sight. Venus and Mars moved into your sign. And there is a part of you that feels extremely, you might feel even more quiet because there's this part of you that knows that you can say something, do something, and also you know that things unfold the way they unfold. So there's these two parts of you, Pisces season, the two fish, that make you understand what's in your hands. The Queen of Pentacles has the pentacle in her hand and she's looking down at it. Ten of Cups, Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So naturally this season you could get very pulled into other people's currents and other people's messes or other people's views, because nothing's super straightforward and everyone's getting a sense and a taste of more of you, being Venus and Mars in your sign, and the way that you communicate. And right now what's being communicated to you is that the more you're able to focus on where your energy is needed, as this is per usual, being understanding of, now I know this isn't always easy, but being understanding of the space that you hold and what's happening and what you're observing. Because I think you're very introspective, but at the same time, you're extremely observant right now. You're very focused on where you want to put this energy. And then the Ace of Pentacles comes in and like, there's a surge of energy. There's a surge of, oh, I know what to do. I have the energy and I know what I need to do with it. And one of those things is to allow yourself to really, you're great at dissociation and detaching when needed, but in order to let go and truly let go of something, you still have to be able to acknowledge it. And what you're doing by ignoring it sometimes isn't helpful. So all of this energy comes to you, and that if you use it in that place, this is the magic of Pisces season and the abundance that you can get by also having contrast. So especially with your sign, what you can do by giving that energy to the healing that's needed Pisces season, because it's being directed there anyway, that opens up even more. So for a moment, it's going to feel like you're being taken away from the good parts that you just entered. You're like, I just entered this really amazing chapter, and then all of a sudden this is coming up. It's coming up to be healed in this moment because you have the energy to do it. And what happens when you do use it, that energy that way, you can then have room for more because you're taking care of yourself, and then it's being acknowledged in the way that the universe can work. And the Queen of Swords is helping you to stay disciplined again. And if this is about someone from your past, or excuse me, if this is about someone who is, never mind. This could be a part of you that is used to like turning a blind eye to this. And now the moon, the moon cycle, Pisces and in Cancer, is being very adamant about, no, you really need to look at this. This is what needs to be taken care of. This is not coming up for no reason. This isn't meant to hurt you. This isn't meant to make you feel more anxious. This has helped to ease your anxiety. And sometimes, oh, these just flipped out. In order to see a plan through, we need to even acknowledge the parts of us and give to the parts of us that could feel low. And then in turn, you understand that if you've ever felt lower than someone or this power dynamic with someone, it then begins to dissolve because you're now giving to your part of yourself that has that dynamic in it. And you're someone who can understand this because, and it comes from a deep place, and this is Pisces season, so things are going which way and everywhere, and wanting us to just stand still in it. Like the current, imagine being in the currents going back and forth and just being a rock. That's what is being expected of us with your two signs being together. And even if you can do it, it's a beautiful thing. Yet at the same time, there's room to change, there's room to maneuver, and having your signs in Venus and Mars can cause this, and Pisces season can cause a sense of disillusion, but for some reason you get clearer as the month goes on. A lot of people do, but you especially, because this thing that has kept you looking maybe behind or down, or kept you feeling down about yourself, or this person who kept the situation or person who is like also simply like sort of a reminder, is you're now like cutting that out of your life in terms of how you maybe respond. If you can't actually cut that situation out, it's how you decide to respond to that situation. It's how you decide to handle when your insecurities come up, or when the light is being shined upon you for yourself. Like, this is when you're alone. This is a very intimate month for you. You are again observing, and you may have time for family, but this is a very much a time when you kind of notice even people and like where they're coming from, like something that your insight and your sight and what you've conceptualized. And I know I say those words a lot with you, but that's what you're doing most of the time. And now this month, it gets very clear. Like whoever's in your life, or whoever, because people might show up in your life in a weird way this month. So also enjoy the synchronicities, I would say. But you are that rock that's standing in the sand while the current is kind of unsure where it's going right now. And you, by the Virgo full moon, especially at the end of the month, so the 18th, your plan will involve, so Two of Wands, this plan, the way that you see things will begin to involve something, this aspect of yourself that now understands a little bit more about how not only you work, but how these structures and these certain dynamics, how not only nuanced they are, but how easy it is when something shifted just slightly, how easy it is for things to get blurry. Even though you know that needs to happen in order for the clarity to happen, that's something that maybe you being that rock, or you having that just underlying knowing, regardless of you knowing the negative or the positives, there's something that your sign continues to want to accept, even how difficult that can be sometimes. And to be the silent, not like bad guy, but you're almost more thankful when an Aquarius is quiet. Sometimes it just depends. It depends. Or how some people can act, like when they like you a little bit more quiet. Because when you have something to say, you got a lot to say. So, and it's beautiful because you're usually well versed in these concepts that you know. So you're really getting to this. So you have Ace of Pentacles in the moon, this full circle thing, this full circle knowing. And then you have the High Priestess with the orb on top of her head. Then you have the Queen of Pentacles, and you have all these orbs. Yeah. So there's so much available to you right now, especially in terms of you valuing high knowledge. If you also want to, or think about starting a family and also starting school or both, and thinking about what that can look like in years to come, definitely it's your time to start new. It's your time to start fresh. That's actually going to help the healing that's going on even more, because I think whatever you decide to get into, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to relate, it will. You'll find a way to make it relate. And or maybe it helps you just get into a meditative zone to then see things clearer, and you can give what's needed and what's properly needed for this part of you. Air signs are airing out for sure this month. Happy belated birthday to any of you. The part 2, when we look at the cards, will be in a Patreon link below, along with the links to work with me one-on-one. Things are moving forward for sure next month even more, so you'll be a lot more external, which I think you appreciate the balance of internal, external that you are. There's a lot of externality coming up in your life, so I think as much as this can feel constricting, enjoy whoever and however you decide to interact with this month, because it's only going to bring even more light and more, and I don't say that in like a corny way, but it is, it's going to bring more light and love and enjoyment and like this complete opposition duality of what you're learning. It's a bringing together of all of the things. It's the grayness that you understand that can also become dark and light in different parts. So maybe looking at some art or getting into something like that this month could be very beneficial to your nature. Okay, Aquarius? We'll see you next month, and all the links are below.